Hi everyone, it's Mike. It's been a while since I've last posted, and I wanted to give an update in terms of a book that I recently had published over the past 18, 24 months. It's been a long journey, and I realize I've never really taken the time to market or to publish or to even take the effort to let it be known that I've published this interesting book regarding my great-grandfather, Charles Smith. The book is called Wind in Your Favor. Wind in Our Favor. And the book is initially a really interesting story, and it's really about my great-grandfather's excursions in on the Great Lakes and in the trades during the late 1800s and early 1900s. And there's a really interesting story behind the story. A few years ago, I actually uncovered a document. It was a transcript that was quite choppy about my great-grandfather's adventures and his work in the trades and his experience as a yachtsman on Lake Ontario and a steamship employee, I guess a laborer on a steamship in the Great Lakes during the 1800s. And so I found this story really choppy, quite a bit. It needed a lot of work to kind of bring it to fruition. And realizing the intent of what he wanted to do, I took the time and the effort to go ahead and essentially retype the entire document and edit the document and work with some very distant cousins of mine to put some of the pieces together around his life, my great-grandfather's life, and to just make sure that the document was fully covered and comprehensive. And so it was quite an adventure, about a 6-month to a 9-month process to essentially get all the pieces together about Charles's life and to put it all together into a readable document that's digestible to the general audience out there. And so I'll just kind of read a little bit from the book, and you can kind of give a sense of what what I did. And then I'll take a moment to read the first few paragraphs of the book itself. Why I'm so interested in the book is because it's such and why I think you'd be very interested in the book is because it's such a genuine narrative about someone's life, a laborer and a tradesman, really a blue-collar guy in the late 1800s and early 1900s. There's not a lot of books out there and literature that kind of reference the lifestyle of someone who's just really the simple common man. But you'll find as you read the book that he's far from a very simple and common man. You know, his education, he got out of school at 16 years old, but he found, as you read the book, you can tell the wisdom and the wit of his personality in this book. So it's surprising with someone of that low of educational level. His writing is pretty sophisticated and advanced for that type of education level, and it's just a humorous and heart-wrenching book. It tugs at your heartstrings. It has the ebbs and flows of the labors and the trades of the 1800s and 1900s, and goes into his relationship with his wife, who was basically my great-grandmother. So let me just kind of read you the back of the book, and you can kind of get a sense of kind of what it is. So this is kind of my perspective of it. So here we go. So after finding the pages of a choppy transcript on the life of his great-grandfather, Charles E. Smith, Michael Smith decided to complete and publish Charles's story. There were several problems with this challenge. Charles had died in 1960, and his son Pat, who's my Uncle Pat, great-uncle Pat, who was familiar with the transcript, and had actually pushed his father Charles to write the transcript, he had also passed away. So Pat had passed away in the year 2000. There were very important questions and facets of Charles's story that were completely unknown. And the story's publication was originally conceived as a gift to those remaining descendants of Charles Smith. And so I set on this course to find the answers in the context of the original words of my great-grandfather. The mission began with connecting with distant relatives, researching persons and places referenced historically in the narrative. These persons and places were really, some of them became famous people and lawmakers. Some of the places are just ports throughout the Great Lakes that are really interesting to this day. And rigorously exploring the intriguing nautical world of yesterday. It was a really interesting, the backstory is so interesting. I had to essentially find the definitions of all these nautical terms that my great-grandfather was using in the book, so that I could give the reader who's not familiar with yachting a better sense of kind of what he was going through and what he was talking about as he was exploring the Great Lakes and his time yachting and racing sometimes on Lake Ontario. So in the end, and as I'm reading this, it ended with an abundant appreciation for the brilliance and the modesty of a fascinating individual and a fascinating storyteller who also happened to be my great-grandfather. So really fascinating. It takes you on a journey, the book, around the Great Lakes if you're into yachting, boating, steamshipping, labors and trades, and just romance in general. Just a beautiful and enriching book full of a lot of entertainment. So it's a PG rated book. I mean, it's a great book for kids. It's a great book for adults. I mean, it's a great book for historians. It's a great book for those that really enjoy the Great Lakes and maybe from a family of blue collar workers and really want to get an appreciation of just the people of that time. So it's a narrative. It's called Wind in Our Favor. Check it out on Amazon.com. I'm going to give a link below to guide you as to where to find the book. It's been out there for a while, and I just realized I just haven't talked about it or made it known that this book is available. So, definitely check it out. Let me know what you think of it. And if you have any feedback on it, I'd love to hear that in the comments below. But all the credit really is to my great-grandfather Charles Smith and his son Patrick, Uncle Pat, who essentially pushed the transcript. I just basically took it from the point of the dream, the vision, to putting into reality with the publication of an actual narrative. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm glad you stuck around for the whole video. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.